Hey everybody, I'm Caleb from Caleb's Auto Help, and today I have got a throttle body spacer that I'm going to install on my truck. Follow me and I'll show you how to do it. Now the tools you're going to need for this is a 7mm socket. If you don't have that, you can use a flat head because that's going to be to get your intake boot off. You're going to need an 8mm and a 10mm. The 8mm is for the factory bolts that bolt on the throttle body, and the new bolts are 10mm. So you need that to take those and put them on. Now before any kind of upgrade or even repairs you do to your vehicle, it's always smart to disconnect your battery. I, for one, would not like to be electrically shocked when I'm just trying to do some fun stuff.
Alright, now that the battery's been disconnected, we can safely start our work. I like to start with taking the coolant jug loose so that way you have plenty of room to get your tools in there. This also allows you to take the intake in and out, whether it's factory or aftermarket. Now that it's loose, we can go ahead and loosen the boot on the throttle body. Disconnect your vacuum hoses. And then you can unclip your airbox. And if you have any electrical connectors, go ahead and take those off, and you can pull out your air tank. Now from here, just pull your jug out of the way and you can start taking the throttle body bolts off. And remember, those are 8mm. Alright, now once you go to put on your throttle body spacer, remember it is one direction only. Make sure you see either the arrow or the throttle body side. Put your new gasket in between the throttle body and the spacer. Once that's done, you can go ahead and start up with 2 of your bolts and make sure your washers are on the bolts. Once you got the 2 bolts in and you have the spacer in place, you can go ahead and start to install it onto the intake. Once it's on the intake, put your last 2 bolts in and get them all started. Make sure they're started before you tighten, otherwise you can damage your threads. Okay, now that all the bolts are on, you go ahead and tighten them, and I would suggest do like a star pattern since you are putting it onto a new gasket. And I would look into the factory manual on your torque specs, that way you don't risk anything coming loose or anything leaking. Now that that's on, you can either put your coolant jug back on now, or you can wait till after you put the intake on. I didn't have any issues, so I went ahead and put my coolant jug on. Now be careful not to damage your coolant return hose once doing this. And once you've got that boot on the throttle body, make sure it's seated properly. Go ahead and clip it back onto the airbox. Reconnect all your vacuum lines, any connections you may have. And once all that's done, verify that the boot is securely onto the throttle body and go ahead and tighten that on. Once you got all that done, verify everything's sturdy and is tight.
Alright, now that you've got everything reinstalled and tightened down, you can go ahead and reconnect your battery. Make sure you got it down enough and it's tight and doesn't wiggle so you don't lose connection. Now you're ready for a test drive. Well, there you guys have it. Easy bolt-on installation. It's a alright price. Got it for about $136, and it makes for a nice little install to get you some lower end torque. Hopefully help with your MPG, and it definitely gave me a nice throttle response. And as you can tell, it sounded pretty nice. It has that nice little whistle to it. Well, there you guys go. Y'all stay safe. Catch y'all later.